observation. First of all, I want to explain we have like three main objectives in this mission. First of all, of course, we want to assess the electoral process in this by 2017 elections, including pre-election activities such as the campaign, advanced voting, polling period. Also on E-Day, election day, including opening, polling, closing, and counting and tabulation process. And the last one is post-election, which is about the electoral dispute resolution. And in the second objective, we want to see the progress of UEC in conducting this 2017 by-election based on 2015 recommendations. And the third one, which I think is very important, we're going to provide several recommendations for UEC in order to prepare 2020 general elections. In order to fulfill all of that three objectives, we have several methodologies. Our team consists of 15 international election observers, which is including 2 electoral analysts, which I'm one of it in the team, and we have like 13 short-term observers who are being deployed in all 8 states and regions around 2 weeks. And how we collect our data, so far we have like 3 main approach. We have an in-depth interview, a random field visit, and then we also have some desk review. So far, on advanced voting, we managed to cover at least around 70 polling stations in the ward or village tract sub-commission office. And then on E-Day, we managed to cover around 194 polling stations for election days. And then for interview, roughly we have managed to interview around 260 key person or respondents to give a conclusion from our result. And then the other thing that I need to emphasize that ANFREL, as always, follow international standard for doing our observation, such as Declaration of Principle for International Election Observation and Code of Conduct for International Election Observers. Also, we follow the Bangkok Declaration on Free and Fair Election, the leading indicators, and Bali Commitment of Transparency. So we really follow the international standard, and that is will be our base on what our result going to explain by today. I think that is all.
Thank you for that explanation, Dr. Adamin. I will then pass the microphone to Damasa Makwal, ANFREL's chairman and the mission head.
Good afternoon. Can I be heard? And thank you for coming. ANFREL would like to congratulate the people of Myanmar. While Myanmar is still young or early, you can say, in democratic transition, the success of the by-election is something the people of Myanmar can be very proud of. ANFREL hopes that lessons learned from 2015, 2017 will be carried on to 2020, where we expect the elections to be more intense, more competitive, and definitely it will be much more contested than in previous elections. We have to congratulate the UEC, the Union Election Commission, with the other government offices such as the security forces, the police in particular, because they brought about an environment conducive to fair and credible elections. It might interest you to know, and my friend from the Myanmar Times was saying, he found it boring, there was no excitement. I think we should be happy to report that on election day, there was no untoward incident, no report of violence that we received. This is something you can really be proud of. I haven't heard of an election in the Philippines that did not have an incident of violence on election day. And we have been having elections for the last 100 years. I think we have to recognize the fact that elections were held in areas wherein they were not held in 2015, such as in Mongshu and Shiaki. These are two areas for elections failed in 2015. They were able to hold elections this year. So, again, we have to credit the Election Commission and the security forces for this. We are happy to report a number of improvements from 2015 to the present. For instance, the voters list, which was a contentious issue in 2015, is much improved for 2017, we must say. For instance, well, this is brought about by some efforts on the part of the Election Commission. They went door to door to verify the voters' data, the voters' name, and with the purpose of finding out whether or not some are not in the list. Two, the Election Commission posted voters' lists in strategic public places to enable the public to see and check for themselves if the names are there or if there needs to be corrected in the voters' list. That again is an improvement. You must have seen the slides before we started the press conference. I was part the full day of advanced voting for the people with disabilities, for the people with the elderly and the sick. And I must say, the Election Commission did a good job. The necessary safeguards were there. And again, I must say that you are well advanced ahead of your Asian neighbors. How many can do advanced polling by having mobile polling stations? Oh, that's the envy of the Philippines, I must say. Again, the campaign was generally held in keeping with the code of conduct that was agreed upon by the candidates in 2015. There was no acrimony in the campaign, and I think this is one thing the United States can learn from Myanmar, because you at least avoided acrimonious campaigns. In this election, more women participated ratio-wise than in the previous elections. Of course, there are always room for improvements. And we have noted some also. One, there is need for greater and better voter education program. The lack of voter education is manifested by two things. One, the low turnout. In the two polling stations that I visited for the count, one polling station had a 14%, and this is in Yangon. One had 14% turnout, the other had 16%. Normally, low turnout may be a factor of voter education. The second indication for the lack of voter education is the high ratio of invalid votes. As many as 6% in some constituencies. That speaks of the lack of awareness and voter education on the part of the voter. What are some of the, you might be curious, what are the reasons for the invalid votes? I have seen ballots where there was no mark at all, meaning the candidate did not vote for any. And this is not the place to say maybe it was a protest vote because they did not have an active campaign for that. Some voted for 2 or more candidates. Some mark at the wrong space, like in the name of the party and not in the box provided for by the voters. So, voter education. We may consider preparing the voters list differently from the current practice. Right now, they sort out the voters list based on family books. Perhaps it's better if we do it alphabetically, as it's done in many countries, or numeric, based on the identity number of the voter, as it's also done in other countries. Why is this so? We have observed that when the voter goes without the voter slip, it takes time for the polling station to look for the name of the voter. And for 2020, when you expect greater interest and enthusiasm in the election, this can cause long lines and clogging in the polling stations. The low turnout, maybe, it is suggested also by ANFREL that they should consider scheduling elections on a holiday like Sunday. If not, maybe they should declare it a national holiday as we do in some countries likewise. Advance voting for out of constituency can still be improved to make it more transparent. Such as what? The Election Commission may have to indicate when the advance voting will take place, where the advance voting will take place, so that the other election stakeholders, the media for one, the election observers for another, can do their role and observe the elections. I think that's just a few. The others are indicated in the 2 reports that we gave to you. Thank you very much, and we are ready to receive your questions.
Thank you for that, Chairman Magwal. As he stated, if any of you have not gotten the press statement and the interim report that ANFREL produced, there are copies outside on the table, so make sure to grab that before you go. We'll now open the floor up to questions. I would just ask that you state your name and organization, if you can, before asking your question, and thanks. I'll come to you with the microphone.
Any questions?
All right. If there aren't any questions, I'll take that as a resounding. All right, one question.
So, my name is Shona and with Myanmar Times. So my question would be regarding with the voter in military camps. I would like to know about in the statement I read that some election administrators depended on the decision of the commanding officer for permission of campaigning or voter education activity inside the camp. So I would like to know more about it. Can you elaborate more about what kind of, how they are dependent on the decision from the commanding officers?
What page is that?
The voter in military camps, at the last paragraph on page 6.
Okay. Yeah. In 2015, for instance, we were not allowed, observers were not allowed to enter in military camps. But this time, they allowed us to go. In fact, I went to 2 military camps. But still, change is difficult to come. There are certain areas where they thought it is still like in 2015, where in 2015, as the Election Commission said, if it happens at the military camp, then we do not run the show. But we are saying it should be the Election Commission that should have full control of the election and not any other. Still, there were a few incidents. I wonder if you can tell us where, Aulina.
Yeah, the incidents, actually it's not incidents like, but about your question, it's more because we found out that some election activity need permission from the commander, such as campaign, and then even if you want to observe, we have to, in advance, we have to inform the commander, even though officially we already allowed by DUC. So I think there are some certain decisions that is still held by the commander, which that is why we emphasize that.
I think that's fair, because you're entering a camp, that the rules to follow. However, he must extend the same courtesies to all the candidates and to all the political parties. The commanding officer may not accommodate some and refuse others. That has to be the rule. But as far as running the elections is concerned, it's solely the responsibility of the Election Commission.
I think just to conclude the question about military camps, the voting, advanced voting, also campaigns, we see very positive progresses. Right now, there's like more open and transparency inside, especially during the regular votings. They allow election observers, party agents to attend, and in fact we observed 3 in Yangon and others, totally 15, right? 15 military camps across the area who held the elections, and all reported almost similar environments where there is not much restrictions. This attitude is very good to push forward. There is like a kind of like a comfortability, and then we can pursue the military, and we hope in the next elections they can put the polling station maybe outside the boundary or the perimeters of militaries. We will learn from what happened in Indonesia. It's just a building a trust and then confidence each other, and I hope in the next futures all the elections will be contained within the independence area or the free area without boundary of any institution that can consider or perceive as bias.
Additional questions? I'd encourage any of our friends from the local media, if you want to ask your question in Burmese, that's fine. We have translators available. We encourage any questions you might have. If not, all right, maybe close it. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. But the document that you receive is contained 2 documents. One is our press statement, and secondly is the interim reports. We're going to release the full recommendation and then final reports soon when we are finishing our overall observations. So we have to be in touch with you, all the media's fellows of the civil society and different institutions who come here. And then after this, maybe Mr. Damaso Makwal will entertaining some of the direct interview in the next rooms. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
May I just say one thing? I was asked earlier before I came, why interim report? That's a standard practice among election observers to release a few days after the elections what you refer to as an interim report. The reason why it's called interim report is election is a cycle. The cycle does not end on election day. It is continued till the last dispute is resolved. So dispute resolution is part of the electoral cycle. We will be observing this to find out the disputes or conflicts or protests raised against, brought to the Election Commission are resolved in a timely, independent, and impartial manner. That's part of the process. Then 2 months from now, a more exhaustive report will be referred to as the final report. That explains why we have what you call interim report. Thank you very much.
Sir, I want to ask the question, but I would like to request ANFREL that please ask to UEC to make more advanced result announcing process, because we realize that this UEC the current UEC announcing process is very inconvenient for the media person because they are very slow and we don't see exact data very quickly, and we have to check how can I say they don't even make the slideshow so it is very complex for media people.
Is that
it should be more advanced system, I think.
which one? And the dispute
Election result announcement process.
Okay. Well, results I think should be number one. There is a provision of the law that results of the polling stations should be posted outside of the polling stations. Number two, the process of aggregation should be transparent. Meaning to say transparent, the media people can go to the center where this is aggregated and you can know the results. Number three, I agree with you, this should be publicized to the public as soon as they are completed to avoid suspicion that there is manipulation of the vote count. Is that being done here?
And we had to very rely on the UEC Twitter account, but it's just they just post the winner. So we all need more specific data.
Like number of votes?
Votes and percentage of the winners.
I guess this is available because we have the data, for instance, and the results of the election together with the number of votes received by each of the candidates.
Yeah, I guess our observers, well, at least for the international election observers, we can get the result per polling station immediately after the counting finish in the polling stations. Aggregation in the township level, we can get immediate result soon after the announce. Mostly before midnight in the same days. And then goes to the UEC level in the headquarters, we also can receive. I think UEC supported by several organizations already open channel like Twitter electionresult.com that we can access all the times. But I don't know the case with the media in here, but I guess we're willing to learn more about the concern about it. But I feel as Indonesian, the result here is quite fast. Officially, I think within 24 hours, they already releasing all the the result of the 19 seats contested. Well, compared in my countries, it will take 1 week. So I think this is something that we have to.
Yes. I think we can accommodate your question. We will suggest that as it happens in many areas, and even in Afghanistan, there is what you call, near the election commission, there is what they call a media center, where the media people can go there and they get updates in real time from the Election Commission. We have to recognize that there may be some differences in communications in Myanmar because, well, you know the reasons why. But things are moving fast, and that may be a good suggestion, and thank you for reminding us. We will include it in our recommendations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, please.
Sorry, just one more question. Under the topic of security concerns, I read that in the township Jangdong, there were concerns of USDP threatening villagers to vote for them. You guys referring that to the 2017 by-election, right? On page 8. In Jangdong Township.
Security? Yeah. All right. Yeah, what about in Ken?
Yes, there were concerns of USDP threatening villagers to vote for them. You guys are referring that for the 2017 by-election, right?
Yes.
Can you